And so I want to take the story on from the beginning. What is the big story? The average person in the street doesn't listen to talk radio. The average person in the street doesn't know who Corey Lewandowski is. The average person doesn't know what happened and what's going on. But I think that the listeners to talk radio do, and they want to know more about the story. And so we dug deeper. I am paid for one reason only, and the reason that this show is soaring, and the reason the New York Times chose to make me the leader of talk radio and no one else. Just note that down. The reason that article that came out yesterday in the New York Times about the power of talk radio in shaping the election, the reason you're not reading about it on any of the blogs is because I'm not a member of the cartel. They are stunned that I was featured and no one else was featured. And as a result, the cartel of talk radio is making believe the article didn't occur. And so the big story today, from the point of view of intelligence, is what about the crimes and misdemeanors of Hillary Clinton? What about the crimes and misdemeanors of Bernie Sanders, his connections to communist front groups through his entire career? Why are these issues not being discussed by the chorus boy of CNN? Anderson Cooper, a glorified chorus boy. And now he's a reporter? And he's making this the big issue instead of Hillary's scandals? Every day Hillary is closer to being indicted for putting the entire nation's national security at risk. No coverage by the chorus boy. Bernie Sanders' deep connections to communist front groups going back decades. No coverage by the chorus boy, not a word. But Trump's campaign manager brushes a reporter's arm to keep her from touching the candidate, and the Secret Service didn't stop her. They warned her twice. And by the way, we have some information that you haven't read anywhere yet. If you look at the video, you can see that the campaign guy, Lewandowski, actually saved this reporter from possible arrest by the Secret Service. Because had she gone up and touched Trump in any way, they could have had her arrested for violating Secret Service protocol, which I have for you in the law. 18 U.S. Code number 1752. It's there. Knowingly and with the intent to impede or disrupt the orderly conduct of government business or official functions, engages in disorderly or disruptive conduct in or within such proximity to any restricted building or grounds when or so that such conduct in fact impedes or disrupts the orderly conduct of government business or official functions. I'll go on later. She violated 18 U.S. Code 1752. And if there was a Republican prosecutor in Florida, this reporter would be in jail right now. And Lewandowski would be seen as a man who simply did his job in protecting his candidate. And I want you to understand something here. Turnabout is fair play. Why you Democrats don't understand this is shocking to me. Do you realize that if you let this little reporter girl, this Lois Lane, get away with this and turn the campaign manager into the bad guy, this means that downstream someone could approach Hillary Clinton with a pen in their hand and go right up to her with a pen in their hand. Is that what you want? Do you want to change the rules of engagement so that a terrorist who looks like a reporter can go up to Hillary Clinton with a pen in her hand and possibly cause her harm? I hope not. And I'll remind you of something else. I have a very good memory, perhaps the best memory in the history of talk radio, because I have a background as a scholar. And let me tell you something. Many years ago, during Iraq I, we had allies in Iraq in the Northern Alliance. And one of the men in the Northern Alliance, an Iraqi, a freedom fighter, a real one, who was fighting these vermin, was hiding with his men. He was a great guy, a great hero, a great warrior, a great guerrilla fighter. He was our ally. He was holed up in his bunkers, as he had to be, and he knew there were enemies everywhere who wanted to kill him. And take a guess what happened. A fake reporter showed up with a fake camera in which there was a bomb, and the fake reporter set off the charge and blew everyone up in that cave or that bunker, killing our ally in the Northern Alliance, including killing himself in a suicide attack. We're living in very dangerous times. I don't care if this chick thinks she's Lois Lane. She belongs in jail. Now, I could ask you the question. I know many of you are warped. And what's interesting to me is how many of you think that you're conservatives and stand for God, truth, and the American way, and you're taking the side of the Soviets. You're on the side of the Hillary Clinton prosecutor. You're on the side of the Soviet Union in condemning Lewandowski without a trial. So doesn't that tell you more about you than it does about him? You already condemned him. You said he should be in jail. You're saying he's an evil guy. You're just like the Soviets. J'accuse! And simply by accusing, he's guilty? That's who you've become? All you conservatives all of a sudden? And so I'll ask you today, as I go into the details, should Trump fire his campaign manager, Mr. Lewandowski, or should the reporter be arrested?